Week 16 of ranking every team in the NFL, tier list style, from worst to first. Welcome in, everybody. How's it going? As I always say, rankings are very much subjective. It's very much opinion-based, so if you don't like what you see, you can let me know, but also drop your own rankings. I'd love to hear from you as well. If you enjoy the rankings, please consider leaving a like or a comment and hitting that subscribe button because we are almost at 500 subs, you guys. 33 subs away as of this recording. If we could get there by the end of the year, as has been our goal for a while now, we'd appreciate it. We're so close. We need your help, though. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and dive into it with the bottom three. We're going to go ahead and just lump these teams in here. We got the Titans and Raiders. Interchange those two however you want. Either order is fine. And then the Jets, the New Jersey Jets. So, with the Titans and Raiders, they've long been at the bottom two in my rankings. Just no debate. Clearly the worst two teams in the league. I tend to put the Raiders higher because they did beat the Titans head-to-head by 10 points earlier this year, but the Raiders now have Kenny Pickett at quarterback, who apparently is just even worse than Geno Smith. I'm not sure. We'll see. They got shut out on Sunday. That was ugly. The Titans have been playing more competitively lately, so that's good to see. They're making progress while not hindering their draft stock, so if you're a Titans fan, that's pretty good for you. And then the Jets, I mean, I'm so sorry, Jets fans. This is ugly. So ugly. Undrafted rookie out of Missouri, Brady Cook. I believe he's undrafted. I mean, he's playing his best. He's doing what he can, but yeah, it's pretty bad out there. And that defense, man, you let Trevor Lawrence have what was probably a career day against you, one of his best performances at least. He carved you guys up. That was insane. So, yeah, you guys have a long rebuild ahead, and I'm sorry for your fans. You guys have been suffering for a long time, and it's probably not going to end anytime soon, so good luck. We're going to move over to the other Jersey team with the Giants, and that'll take us to our next tier, rest in peace. For most of the teams here, your season is actually officially over. There's going to be one, maybe two in there who have some life, but it's not realistic. But yeah, your season's over if you're in this tier. You don't want to be in this tier. The Giants, I mean, you've got your future. It was never going to be this season where you competed with the schedule you had. It was all about seeing if Jackson Dart was going to be good, and from what you have seen, when he stays on the field, he looks like your franchise guy. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to stay in the field the way he plays. He takes a lot of hits. He actually left the game against the Commanders on Sunday. We got to see famous Jameson there for a play or two. Dart did return, and he was fine, but it is concerning how often he's getting hurt. So hopefully they can work on that in the offseason and he stays healthy. New York, look, maybe you're going to be good next year. You could be next year's Patriots. You could have an easier schedule. You're going to get your star players back and healthy with Scatabo and Malik Neighbors back in the picture. You're going to have a premium draft pick. It could be the first overall pick. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But, you know, you are set up to succeed next season. Just please don't blow it. It would be fun if you guys are competing. Cleveland, another team that could be set up well for the future. Going to depend on what you do at quarterback. I personally don't think Shedeur Sanders is the guy. I never really did. I did view him as a second-round talent, so I was shocked, as many of us were, when he fell to the 5th round, I believe. So, yeah, that's just my stance on it. He had an ugly game against Chicago, and we've said, you know, kudos to him for playing well against bad defenses. That's something that other Cleveland quarterbacks have failed to do. But he played really well 2 weeks ago against, I believe it was the Titans. He carved them up. Of course, they still lost because they would. But he played a really good game. And then against the Bears, he just, it was awful, man. I know not all of 3 interceptions were his fault, but it was still really bad. And, you know, I didn't watch most of that game. I went back and saw some of the film, some of the highlights, and, you know, the lowlights if you're a Cleveland fan. It was ugly. So we'll see how Shedeur plays the next few weeks. There's a chance he's the week 1 starter for them next year, or there's a chance Cleveland spends their first-round pick on a quarterback. So I have no idea what the plan is there. I still think they have a lot of good pieces, especially Myles Garrett on defense. He is about to break the single-season sack record. He is 1 away from tying it. I think he gets there. I think it's probably going to happen in Week 17 against the Steelers, because it would happen against a divisional foe, right? We'll see. I'm rooting for Garrett. Cleveland fans, I'm sorry, unless you're a Deshaun Watson supporter, in which case I'm not sorry. You deserve this, but yeah, we'll see what the future holds. Arizona, rest in peace. This team, I don't even have a lot of optimism for your future like I do with the Browns and Giants. Like, this team, I don't know what the plan is. My assumption is Brissett is going to be the week 1 starter for you next year, and you're going to have a rookie sitting behind him. No idea who the rookie is, no idea what his upside is, but I don't know what the plan is, and I'm not optimistic. And it sounds like Jonathan Gannon is going to be returning next year. From what I've heard, and it's possible it changes in the coming weeks, but from what I've heard, he's going to get another chance. And it's largely due to the belief in the building that this season you don't hold it against him. It's largely due to all the injuries, which is fair to a certain degree. But I haven't seen anything out of Gannon that makes me want to believe, you know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, and for Cardinals fans' sakes, I hope I'm wrong, but yeah. Yeah, we'll see. This is an ugly season, though. You've been largely competitive more often than not, but this past Sunday, it was just brutal. Absolutely brutal. And for Daniel's sake, you know, my co-host, who's a Texans fan and was at the game, I'm really glad it was a no-show on Arizona's part for most of the game, but For Cardinals fans, good luck. This is brutal. Washington, another team in for a brutal season. I'm also not too optimistic about your future because I don't trust you to build up the roster correctly. You seemingly thought you didn't need to do a whole lot this past offseason when there were some glaring weaknesses and you had all these aging veterans, and it's come back to bite you. Your defense is horrific. Your offense doesn't do enough to help you. Jaden Daniels correctly has been shut down for the season. They should have previously done that, but they had to let him return and get injured again in a meaningless game. Oh well. But hey, at least you beat the Giants. It's nice that you beat your rivals. That's always fun. But yeah, what a massive disappointment for the Commanders this season. We'll see what they do in the offseason. Very important one for them. Dan Quinn, his seat has got to be warming up heading into year 3. We'll see what happens. Jaden Daniels next year, good luck. I don't know. I'm not feeling too good about him, though. The Chiefs! The 6-8 Chiefs! You are in the rest in peace tier because your season is over. Congratulations to the Chargers. You got to eliminate the Chiefs officially. You got to love that if you're their rivals and you're a Charger fan. There are only 2 of you out there, but I'm sure you both enjoyed it. Good for you. But the Chiefs, you're done. You're cooked. And for Patrick Mahomes, I am sorry. I hate that he tore his ACL. That's horrific. That's awful. And for anyone cheering about that, shame on you. You should not be cheering for an injury that took place on another human being. Unless it is Deshaun Watson, in which case we will make a slight exception for that, because he is not a good person. So, allegedly. But, yeah, Patrick Mahomes, his injury, that's just sad. Hopefully he will recover well. We'll see if he returns early next year, if he misses time. I'm not concerned about the Chiefs' dynasty. Everyone's celebrating its end, and I'm glad that they missed the playoffs. I like that we're going to see a new matchup in the AFC Championship game, and a new threat emerge from the AFC. I'm glad. But I'm also being realistic. I don't think the dynasty's over. They're going to get a good draft pick, and they're going to return next season angry. They're probably going to be playing they are going to be playing a third-place schedule in that division. So, yeah, chances are they're just immediately back atop the AFC. Whether they win it or not is another thing, but they're not going anywhere. They're not done yet. Enjoy the downfall for this season. It's on pause. We'll see what happens next year. The Bengals. Man, I feel bad for Joe Burrow. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's ever going to request a trade or not. If he's going to, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. He seems like he's not super happy in Cincinnati right now. I don't know what it's going to take to keep him happy, though. You just don't have a lot of help there. So you need massive improvements to that roster, I suppose. I would go ahead and fire Taylor. I think he's probably done in the offseason. I think they can him, and they try to keep Burrow. I don't know how it's going to go. If I'm Joe Burrow, though, I would want to be traded, and I would want to be traded to Minnesota. We've talked about this for a while now. If he's traded, I think Minnesota's the best spot for him. As a Panthers fan, I'd love to have him in Carolina. But, I think Minnesota's the more realistic possibility there. But we'll see if they're even interested with how McCarthy's playing. More on that later. Yeah, the Bengals season is over. They had a little bit of fun when Joe Burrow returned, but it was just not enough. If they had beaten Buffalo last week, maybe they would have had enough life and momentum to keep going, but as it stands, they're 4-10, they're eliminated. It's another lost season in Cincinnati. You hate to see it. The Saints. I'll keep this one short because I'm not happy with the Saints. They've played well in defense lately. Tyler Shuck looks good. They are 4-10. They have hope going into next season. Good for you. Moving on, we have the Falcons. Quick thank you to Atlanta. You did your job for us. You beat Tampa Bay last Thursday, and you set us up to be able to win the division, and we blew it. So, yeah. But I'm good for the Falcons, I guess. I'm a Kirk Cousins fan, personally. I don't care who he's playing for. I like Kirk Cousins. So it made me happy to see him do very well against Tampa. And he usually does well against Tampa. That was one of the things we correctly called last week. He's the type of quarterback who carves up the Todd Bowles defense. So he certainly did that and some more. Kyle Pitts went off. That was random, very strange, but good to see. Kyle Pitts apparently loves playing with Kirk Cousins. The Falcons season is cooked, and they don't even have a first-round pick. But also, I liked the trade when it happened because they got James Pierce Jr. in the draft, who I really liked. So I think in the long run, they've built up their defense. I think Raheem Morris is gone this offseason, and that'll benefit the Falcons. So this is a team that could be a threat in the NFC South next season. We'll see how they play it. Probably depends on the quarterback situation. I assume Penix is going to be the starter next year if he recovers well. But Kirk Cousins playing well down the stretch would definitely make things interesting. We'll see. Miami, rest in peace. Good job staying alive for so long. Honestly, I thought you'd be in this tier a long time ago, more permanently, but you've survived for a long time. You had life until you lost to the Steelers in primetime. The score was 28-3 at one point. That's funny. It was 28-3, and you got a couple of late touchdowns. Good for you, Darren Waller, but ugly game for Miami. Your season is over, and you got major questions about the head coach. You got questions about Tua at quarterback. I don't know what they're going to do. My assumption has been they're going to ride it back with those guys one more year, and it's probably not going to work, but they might give it a try. I'm not sure. Personally, I don't like the coach there. I don't like the quarterback there. I think they need to upgrade. But also, you say that, and then you look around and go, how do we upgrade? Who do we get that's better? I don't think the Miami job is going to be particularly attractive to prospective head coaches. And I don't think there are a lot of good quarterbacks available. As a Panthers fan, I'm looking at other quarterbacks. If we were to move on from Bryce Young, there aren't a lot of options. So you have to make a splashy trade for Joe Burrow, or you have to take a chance on Kyler Murray. That's basically the best you're going to do. So, yeah, Miami, you're probably going to suffer again next season. But, hey, you had a nice run, nice little mini run this season. You stayed alive for a while, so kudos to you. Dallas, you're done. You're done. Not officially. You technically have life. If you win out and Philadelphia loses out, you win the division. That's not happening. Nobody thinks that's happening. You blew your chance at this. All you had to do was beat the Vikings and JJ McCarthy, and instead you let 9 carve you up. It was ugly. Absolutely ugly. And that offense was doing well against the Vikings defense. I was impressed by that for the most part, and you just couldn't make it count when you needed to, and your defense couldn't get stops when you needed to. It was really weird. Not what you expected going into that game. So, good job to the Vikings, who are actually going in this tier as well. Gonna go ahead and put them in. Good job to the Vikings. They played a good game. And they're in this tier only because they are mathematically eliminated. Otherwise, I'd probably move them up a little more based on how they've played recently. But I also would take every team ranked above them to win. So it's fair. But, you know, maybe the Vikings actually have a shot to compete next year. I don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback situation, because JJ McCarthy's been playing well, but it's been against bad defenses. So I don't want to read too much into it. It's sort of like with Shedeur Sanders. He played a couple good games against bad defenses and then was horrible against a good defense. So we'll see where it goes. It's going to come down to the next 3 games. Personally, I've never believed in McCarthy. I still don't. I think Minnesota needs to go all out on a pursuit for Joe Burrow in the offseason. That's my take, at least. So we'll see what happens. But there's a chance that McCarthy continues to play decently and he gets a shot to be the starter next season, which Vikings fans, personally, I hope that's not the case for you, because I just don't think he's that good. I don't think he's going to be good. I think you need to upgrade. But I guess if he earns it, he earns it. I don't know. Tampa Bay, I'm going to go ahead and put them in. And Carolina, I don't know how to rank these teams. I'm just put them in whatever order you want. I don't care. We're going to find out real soon who's better anyway. They play this weekend, and then they play again in Week 18. So these teams are lumped together because, like, I don't know how to evaluate these teams. Tampa Bay is reeling. Carolina's inconsistent. One week they look great, one week they look horrible. Even this past week, we actually looked pretty good for most of the game against New Orleans, and then we just completely collapsed late in the game. We also had some terrible calls by the refs go against us, but I think the refs were just objectively terrible on all accounts anyway, so there's that. They very much enjoyed calling flags, throwing penalties, all that, so yeah, it was ugly. Tampa, you lost to Atlanta, you blew a 14-point lead. Carolina lost to New Orleans, you blew a 10-point lead, both in the fourth quarter. These teams both collapsed, neither team seems to want to win the division, and yet, it's going to come down to them. They play twice in the next 3 weeks. If Carolina gets the sweep, they make the playoffs. If Tampa splits and doesn't lose to Miami, and we don't beat Seattle, they're in. So, yeah, there's a good chance Tampa is going to win the division at this point, because we have to sweep them. We would have to sweep them, most likely, to make it in. And it's really tough to see that after we couldn't even beat the Saints. I'm just being objective with you guys as a Panthers fan. I have a lot of hope and optimism because I actually think we match up well against Tampa this year. But yeah, what I'm honestly expecting is we beat them this week, and it ends up coming down to Week 18, and then we lose a heartbreaker, because that would happen. Either way, successful year for the Carolina Panthers. I think we leave this season feeling better than Bucs fans. I mean, they're not going to feel great if Todd Bowles is still their head coach, which he might be if they make the playoffs. So in the long run, it might actually be good for us. But yeah, it's a successful year for Carolina overall, and whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to be optimistic. Again, rank these 2 teams however you like. Whoever you think is better should go higher. I don't know how to view it. I know that I've picked us to win this weekend at home. Spoiler alert, I actually believe we're going to beat them at home this weekend. So, see what happens. In the mid-tier, I'm going to go ahead and put Baltimore in, and then the Steelers right above them. I think that's fair. I mean, the Steelers beat them head-to-head, and I'm just going to keep the Steelers in mid. I think they're just a mid-team. They look good against Miami. I mean, Miami's not elite or anything, but good for the Steelers. They showed up in the second half of that game, really blew it out, and that's what you needed to do. They get to 9-8. They probably win the division. And then Baltimore has to play New England and Green Bay in the next 2 weeks. There's a decent chance that Pittsburgh just has to beat Cleveland in 2 weeks, and they're in the playoffs at that point. I don't know if that'll be the case. My guess is it comes down to the Week 18 game somehow, but yeah, I'm guessing the Steelers will be a playoff team, but I'm not putting them in playoff caliber teams. They are the one team that if they make the playoffs, and also whoever wins the NFC South, they make the playoffs, I don't see you doing much. Maybe you win one game at home, maybe, but you're not going to run realistically. Baltimore, I actually think, has a higher ceiling than Pittsburgh, because if their offense starts clicking, they're deadly. That defense has been playing really well, and they showed it by shutting down the Bengals' offense. This is a team that could compete if their offense puts it all together. I just have a hard time seeing it. They're going to have to prove it against one of their upcoming opponents who are going to be tough to beat. So we'll see what happens. I think right now these teams are just kind of mid. Next up, I have the Colts, and I don't really know what to do with the Colts, so I just gave them their own tier. Like, I feel like that's reasonable. I didn't know what to do with them last week either, and I just didn't even rank them. I felt like this week I have to rank them, and I have to do it based on one game, one sample size with Phillip Rivers. So I'm putting them above the Colts and Ravens, and I don't feel confident. Like, there are a lot of different places you could put them, but they almost beat the Seattle Seahawks. They almost did it. That defense came to play, and the offensive line did a great job protecting Phillip Rivers. And I feel like Rivers actually did a good job running that offense. I know he didn't wow you with his stats or anything. He didn't make any big-time plays, but he was just a game manager. And that he did pretty well. Stayed on his feet. For the most part, stayed on his feet. And Jonathan Taylor did pretty well, of course. And if they keep feeding Taylor, and if they punish opposing teams if they end up stacking the box against him, which I think Rivers is capable of by just making short throws, by reading the defenses and whatnot, if they can keep playing like that, their season's not over yet. I think this is a solid team overall right now. In fact, if you want me to move them down to mid, I would be willing to do that. They probably are mid overall. But for now, I'm just going to give them their own tier because genuinely, I don't know what they are. I need to see more, and I think Monday night against San Francisco will tell us plenty because Seattle, in my opinion, is definitely a better team than San Francisco. So logically, the Colts should be able to make that a close game, and if they do, that tells us they're still a good team with Phillip Rivers. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. It's possible that San Francisco gets some game film on 44-year-old Phillip Rivers and the Colts just look awful on Monday night. I don't know. I want to wait and see. For now, I'm just going to put them here. I think this is like 13th or 14th in the rankings overall. That's pretty respectable for your record as well. So, yeah, good job, Indy. You almost beat the Seahawks. Great story. You've got everyone rooting for you because you have Phillip Rivers. See what happens. There's a hypothetical world where they win out and make the playoffs. I'm here for it. I'm going to put the Lions in playoff caliber teams. I know they just lost again. They gave up 41 points to the Rams. I blame injuries. And also the Rams are just unstoppable in offense, it feels like. Yeah, there's a good chance the Lions miss the playoffs. They could win out and still miss, which I think is what I've been projecting. Sucks. It absolutely sucks if this team misses the playoffs. Somebody very good is going to get left out in the NFC. It's that deep this year. And it is what it is. Look, this Lions team is just too inconsistent. They win one week, they lose the next week, and that's the pattern. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Can't stack consecutive wins, but you also never lose 2 in a row. Yeah, if you're that inconsistent, it's hard to make the playoffs. I can't trust them to win out. I'm projecting it, but I can't even trust them. I don't strongly believe in them to do that at this point. So, good chance they miss the playoffs, but I do think overall this is a playoff caliber team, and it's going to be weird when they miss the playoffs. If they do. It's possible they make it in, but I assume they're missing. So, we'll see. Philadelphia, I'm going to put them here. I'm not moving them up just because they steamrolled the Raiders. Like, good for you, I guess. It doesn't warrant you jumping the Chargers, who I'm putting in just above you right here. The Chargers have the head-to-head win, so I'm going to honor that. Chargers also knocked out the Chiefs, so they're feeling pretty good. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about either of these teams. Just good job, LA. You knocked out the Chiefs. Your defense looks really good still. Jesse Minter doing one heck of a job as the defensive coordinator there. He could be leaving them this offseason for a head coaching job. We will see. Philadelphia, it looked like you were doing really well. It looked like your offense found its rhythm, but it was the Raiders. So let's see how you look against a better opponent. You're playing Washington this week. We're not going to learn anything. We'll see how you look against Buffalo in a couple of weeks. Next up, we have San Francisco. My perception of them didn't really change. I mean, they beat up on the Titans. Their defense gave up more points than you expected, but that offense was really good. If the offense continues to click like that, they could beat anyone. So they continue to fight. They're battling through adversity. We'll see how far they can go. Jacksonville, who has the head-to-head win over San Francisco, by the way. Hey, look, Trevor Lawrence is playing really good football right now, and if he keeps playing like this, that team in Jacksonville, they could beat anyone in the AFC. They could go all the way. That might sound crazy, but the quarterback position has been the main thing holding them back at times this year. With Trevor Lawrence sometimes just really plays poorly. Sometimes he plays really well. He's been on the hot streak lately. We'll see how long that lasts. my personal opinion is they'll make the playoffs, and then he will face a good defense and throw an interception or two, and they lose in the probably first round. But if he keeps playing well, anything's possible. So maybe he's just getting hot at the right time. Maybe he's going to keep playing well. We will see. Jags fans, enjoy it. Just enjoy it while you can. We'll see where it goes. Big game this weekend against Denver. Chicago comes in next. Playoff caliber teams. Hey, great win against Cleveland. I'm not going to read too much into it. A good team is supposed to blow out Cleveland. But also, there were some people out there thinking, hey, maybe the Browns can pull off the upset. Hey, they didn't. They got blown out. Chicago is a good team. A good team would have blown out the Browns there, and that's what they did. So it's nice to see that they did what they were supposed to do. I think they have definitely earned their top 10 ranking here. This is 8 overall, I believe. So good for them. Big game against Green Bay this weekend. If they get the win there, I think that they end up winning that division. We'll see how it goes, but big game for the Bears, and honestly, they're just happy to be here. The Packers are coming in above them due to the head-to-head result. I'm actually picking the Bears to beat them this weekend, so they will flip here if that ends up being the case. Green Bay, unfortunately, they just lost Micah Parsons out for the season due to his ACL injury. That sucks. You hate to see it. Christian Watson, I haven't heard any injury updates on him as of now. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's back soon, because I do think he has a major impact on that offense. I don't know what's going to happen there, but yeah, big game for Green Bay against Chicago. If they drop that one, they have the Ravens and Vikings after that. They should be fine. They should be able to win at least one of those games and make the playoffs. There is a world where they collapse. I'm not predicting it. I'm just throwing out the hypothetical as a warning. Do not take those opponents lightly, because they're playing good on defense, the Ravens and Vikings. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think they're in the playoffs, but look, Micah Parsons out for the season, and if Watson misses time, that hurts your offense. Look, nothing is guaranteed in this league. Green Bay, I hope you finish strong, but take it one game at a time. Buffalo, I'm putting them above the Packers here at 6 overall in my rankings. I'm not moving them up more. I've seen a lot of people put them in their top 3 because they beat the Patriots and then therefore bumping out the Patriots. I'm not doing that. No, look, I love that they won that game. I thought that was awesome. Probably the best game of the weekend. Amazing. Great comeback. I can't put them up too high. Like, they've been inconsistent. I'm not going to go recency bias here and say, oh, Buffalo now is one of the best teams in the league. In that same game this past weekend, they trailed 21-0. It was an incomplete performance from them, but they stormed back and they took control. They lost the first half and then they won the second half, and it's more important you win the second half, I guess. So, good for them. I'm happy for them, and I hope that they ride that momentum all the way into the playoffs, because I'm rooting for them. I would love to see them go far. Not my favorite team in the AFC, because we'll get to them in a moment, but I do like the Bills, and I hope they go far. I respect them. Hopefully they don't, have to rely on Josh Allen to win every single game for them. We will see. But, yeah, good for them. Good for them. Next up, a team that actually beat Buffalo head-to-head. It is the Texans. I'm going to keep them in the playoff caliber teams tier. I think that is fair and appropriate. Look, this is a team that could go far in January. I think they could go all the way, quite possibly. It may depend on the path they draw. I have no idea what's going to happen. But if that offense can keep playing well, and they played really well against Arizona, it looks like, anything's possible. Because that's been the main problem with them, right? They have an elite defense. In my opinion, it is the best in the league. I have no hesitation saying that. But the offense, if they can just be average, they can go far. They're similar to Denver in that regard, except Houston's defense is better. Houston could go all the way if the offense plays well. I don't know if that's going to be the case. It's tough to judge a game against Arizona. It's tough to look at that and go, yeah, Houston's offense is back. It's Arizona, so gotta be careful with that. We'll find out in the coming weeks if their offense can keep it going. But if they play that well in January, watch out, because Houston will be a problem. We're going to go ahead and put Denver also in playoff caliber teams. Yeah, it's going to be viewed as a disrespect because they just beat Green Bay. Look, I was wrong. I had Green Bay winning that game. I felt pretty good about that pick too, overall, honestly. Even during the game, and Green Bay led by 9. Denver made the comeback. Look, I didn't watch that game. I was watching my own team play at that time, so I don't know. I'm a box score viewer here. Good for Denver. Good for them. Their offense was rolling, it looked like. They put up a lot of points. Bo Nix had a good day. And that's what you need. If your offense can keep doing that, you have the capability of going all the way, just like Houston. I think Denver and Houston are very similar here. And I have Denver higher because they won head-to-head. I personally, no, I'm not moving them up. Because the next 3 teams in the elite tier, I pick all of them to beat Denver. It's nothing personal, but it's just how I view it. These are very opinionated, okay? Subjective rankings, like we said. Coming in at number 3 in the elite tier, it is Seattle. Look, I thought about punishing them for barely beating the Phillip Rivers-led Colts. I thought about it, but they got the win. Their defense played well. The offense did enough. They couldn't punch it into the end zone, which I thought was very strange, but it is what it is. I'm a little concerned about their outlook the rest of the way because their offense has been starting slow. At least lately, though, they've been able to explode in the second half, but on Sunday against the Colts, they couldn't do it. So we'll see if that is a lingering issue or not. They do face the Rams in a short week. That game will probably decide the division and perhaps the 1 seed in the NFC. We will see. Yeah, I'm not too worried, but I am keeping an eye on those offensive struggles. So, yeah, I still like Seattle a lot. I think they are one of the best teams in the league. We'll see where it goes. The Patriots come in at 2. This might be a hot take. I don't know what everyone else is doing with the Patriots. I've seen a few people drop them out of the top 5 and put Buffalo in the top 3. Look, I get it. They blew it. They had a 21-0 lead, and they blew it against Buffalo. Is what it is. It happens. They split the season series with the Bills anyway, though. Like, it's not like... It's not that big of a deal. The Patriots are favored in the rest of their games. They're probably winning the division. The only way they blow it is if they lose to either the Dolphins or Jets. It doesn't matter if they lose to the Ravens this weekend because they would have the tiebreak over Buffalo. If they lose to another divisional opponent, then we have a problem. I think the Patriots are fine. They're going to get probably the 2 seed in the conference, and they're going to be, in my opinion, the team to beat in that conference. I know Denver is going to have the higher seed. I know they have the better record. I feel fairly good about picking the Patriots to beat them. I think the Patriots are the better team. Sorry, Denver fans. I'm not even happy about it. I'd rather see a new team go all the way. The Patriots, we're not that far removed from their dynasty. Like, I like Drake May at least, but it feels too soon. And yet, I think they're elite. Very good team. They're going to go far. The Rams come in at number 1. They swapped spots with the Patriots here, because although I'm not going to drop the Patriots far for their loss, I am still going to drop them. They did lose. I feel like that's fair. The Rams, they got a big win over the Lions, and that was a fun game, back and forth, but the Rams, it seemed like they were in firm control for a lot of it. They did trail by 10 at one point, if I recall that correctly, so they did make a double-digit comeback. That offense, though, it could not be stopped. The defense for LA also didn't get a whole lot of stops, so honestly, when the Lions' offense is clicking, nobody can stop them. Jared Goff made a lot of good throws. Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams had a lot of good big plays. The LA defense is really good more often than not. They were just overwhelmed by the Detroit passing attack, and that's okay, because that offense showed up for the Rams. It is what it is. I think this is the most complete team in the league. I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs if I were your team. Yeah, that's just my take of it. I think the Rams are the best team in the league. They are probably going to be my Super Bowl pick when my playoff picture video comes out later this week. And I also think the Patriots are the best team in the AFC. So my opinions here, a lot of it has not changed a whole lot. Some of it moved around. But yeah, there you go. These are my rankings this week. This is my tier list. Let me know in the comments what you think. Tell me what I got right. Tell me what I got wrong. Drop your own rankings and we can compare. Appreciate y'all for watching. Drop a like, drop a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. We are trying to grow the channel. We are very close to 500 subs, our end of the year goal. Appreciate any help we can get. We'll wrap up the video now. Thank you so much as always, and enjoy the weekend in the NFL. Lots of good games. Take care.